Martin Truex Jr. breaks the losing streak of 54 races and finally wins again, beating the villain, yet again, of the day, Ross Chastain. Now, Dover, for the second straight year, was rained out on Sunday, raced on Monday. They called it really early Sunday morning, just knowing they could not get the racing. It was a noon start time. I want to start off with that. It was a noon start time, and boy, oh boy, did it make this race go by a lot faster. At least it seemed like it went by a lot faster. And I think that's because it doesn't just go into the middle of the afternoon and go into night. It starts midday and it ends in the middle of the afternoon, so it feels like you still have a lot of day left. Started at 11 Central Time, ended around 3 Central Time, and it was a solid race. I was very, very happy with what I saw. And let's just start off with the recap. Kyle Busch got out ahead early. Qualifying was obviously rained out. He started on pole, led the first 20 laps before speeding on pit road, handed the lead over to William Byron, who absolutely dominated stage one. And it looked like early on, yet again, it was just going to be a William Byron dominating fest of just him clobbering the field like he did at Phoenix, like he did at Las Vegas, like he did at Martinsville, like he's done at so many tracks this year, and it looked like yet again, here comes William Byron, ready to rock and roll, ready to win. But that was not the main part of stage one. No. The most notable thing from stage one was Ross Chastain wrecking Brennan Poole and inadvertently sending Poole into Kyle Larson, who was just destroyed. And now, for the second straight week, Kyle Larson has been involved in a wreck that Ross Chastain was involved in starting. If you don't remember, Chastain started that wreck, or was involved in starting the wreck that included Noah Gragson, that had Kyle Larson and Ryan Preece have that extremely, extremely hard hit at Talladega. And unlike Talladega, this time there is no defending Chastain. And I do agree with what Poole said in saying that somebody needs to whoop his butt. However, nobody has really done it yet or paid him back yet, officially, as much as he has wrecked people. So it's just going to be a waiting game with everything. Ross Chastain kind of got away with another one because he was able to come home second today in a race where I feel like Larson, who had multiple chances and had every single right to go dump Chastain, didn't. The most Larson did on Ross was just block Ross and kind of hold him back from catching Truex, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Stage 2 looked like a copy and paste repeat of Stage 1. William Byron dominated it, except this time Ross Chastain was able to catch up. It looks like when the sun started coming out in Stage 2, Chastain's car picked up speed. William Byron's car started losing speed. However, there was one other car that started picking up speed, and I noted it on Twitter before Stage 3 started, and that was Martin Truex Jr. He was lurking. He showed a lot of speed in that 19 car, and I was waiting for him to just get going, and he finally showed up in Stage 3 on one of what should have been the final pit stops of the day. Truex had a great pit stop, was able to go run down Chastain, get the lead, and it looked like he was gonna hold off Ross until Joey Logano, who was struggling all day, was wearing his tires out way too much. Finally, one of his tires just blew up. He ripped it to shreds, spun himself out, and it brought out the final caution. Now, the biggest thing that myself and many, many others have been saying is James Small has honestly been extremely, excruciatingly bad in these situations where Truex is in a position to win. Small has to make a call, and he makes the wrong call, and it costs Truex the race. So it seems like it was going to be another week where, oh, here comes Truex to come down pit road, or maybe he just doesn't come down pit road, because maybe that's what James Small wanted to do, and messed himself up. However, James Small made the right call this time, brought Truex down pit road. However, had Truex go for 2 tires, which worked out in his favor, because Blaney and Bell also took 2 tires, put a couple cars between Truex and Chastain, put Truex in a decent spot, and on the restart, Truex pulled away, battled Blaney for a second. However, he was able to pull away and win the race. And I got to say, props to Martin Truex Jr. today. He raced one heck of a race. I was very happy to see him win this one, both because I was kind of annoyed that Ross Chastain dumped and kind of caused my driver to get knocked out of this race in Kyle Larson. But Also because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I do think this is Martin Truex Jr.'s final season in the Cup Series. So this could be a huge confidence boost for Martin Truex Jr. And the fact that he hasn't won in 54 races, he hasn't won in almost 2 years. So this is a huge confidence boost for him and that 19 team. A confidence boost I think he needed. And if it leads into the right direction, could be the confidence boost that he needs to get back to championship form and try to win a championship in what I think will be his farewell season. So watch out for that 19 team if they can keep this consistency up. Now, one of the team I do want to talk about is Penske. And my immediate thought after today's race is, what is happening? Ryan Blaney and Penske, in general last year, were great at all 1 mile tracks. Dover, Phoenix, New Hampshire, Gateway, they all were consistent, they all were good, they all looked competitive. However, this year, it's been mainly just Ryan Blaney. We've raced at 2 mile tracks so far this year, Phoenix and Dover. Ryan Blaney has finished 3rd at Dover and finished 2nd at Phoenix, both really solid days, was in contention late for those wins. Now, let's look at the other 2 drivers. Joey Logano has finished 11th at Phoenix, not terrible, but not as good as the defending champ Logano is, and finished a horrendous 31st today at Dover, where he was just awful. He was terrible all race long. He was never in contention for the win. He was never in contention to run up front. He was never that good. It was a bad day for Joey Logano. And then you have Austin Cindric, who has just taken a complete cliff dive off and fell into the deep end, and he's been terrible. He's finished 26th at Dover, 25th at Phoenix, and like I said, he just looks off. I don't know what's up with Austin Cindric. I don't know if he's just in a slump, just a sophomore slump. I don't know. But you might be asking, why am I getting so worked up, and why am I making a big deal out of the fact that they're not running good at mile tracks? Well, if you don't remember, these tracks, or this type of track, is the track that ends the season. It's the track you've got to go and win to go win a championship. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, they were the class of the field last year at Phoenix with that Penske group. Now, Joey Logano and his team and Austin Cindric look so off. I don't know why Blaney's been so good. Maybe it's because Blaney is ready to go. But at this moment, it seems like Blaney is Penske's best shot at winning a championship. And quite frankly, he's not even the one with the win. Joey Logano has a win this year at Atlanta. Yet I have tons more faith in Ryan Blaney this upcoming year to go win a championship, and not Joey Logano, who is a 2-time champion, who I should not be questioning if he can go compete when Ryan Blaney hasn't won a race in almost 2 years as well. I do think Ryan Blaney will get to victory lane here sooner rather than later. He's looking really good. The team looks good. He looks consistent. I do think Blaney will find victory lane, but I'm very concerned for Penske. Now, I do also want to give credit to Josh Berry, who yet again filled in for an injured Hendrick driver and came home top 10 today. And this is how I'm closing it off. I do think Josh Berry is quickly making a case for why he should be in a Cup car next year. And my hope is either a team signs him, a top team, not some bottom feeder. I want a top team to sign him because I think he deserves to be in a top ride. Or my other hope is Dale Jr. finally decides to start a Cup team and moves Berry up himself. Like I said, only time will tell. Silly season is going to be upon us, though, sooner rather than later, so it's only a matter of time before we start seeing some moves happen. But for now, that's all I have. So I want to ask you guys, what did you think of today's race? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it in between? A little bit of both, you know? Now, I want to hear you guys' response. Leave your answers and thoughts in the comments down below. And also, while you're at it, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.